Hey guys, my name is David Hall or Solid Brick Studios, and today I'm going to be taking a full-on walkthrough through my LEGO Mandalore diorama. This took over 11 months to build. There's 100,000 plus pieces involved here and over 550 minifigures. We're going to go through every detail through this walkthrough. I have Matthew, the Brick Whiz, on the camera right now. I'm going to link his YouTube channel if you guys want to go check out his content. He also makes Lego dioramas if you want to check him out. But this is so exciting to do a full-on walkthrough. Unfortunately, this build will not be making it to a public LEGO convention, so nobody outside this room will ever actually, unfortunately, be able to see this creation, which is quite sad, but that's why we're going to be doing this full walkthrough starting right now. So before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that if you enjoy what you see here today, you can help support me by either buying my t-shirts down with the link below, or you can follow Minifigs for You. That's my custom Lego minifigure website where I make custom clone troopers. So if you love the clones from Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and you absolutely love the figures that I have on minifigsforyou.com, I have both the Geonosian Landing at Point Rain collection and the Bad Batch are currently in stock as I'm making this video. They will run out of stock at some point, but I have more figures like Delta Squad and more that you guys can check out with the link below. All of that supports this creation right here. So as we're going through the MOC today, I'm actually going to be doing a small little contest giveaway for a Clone Army Customs Bo-Katan minifigure. It's the same one in the MOC over here actually. The way you win this contest, and it's going to be a short-lived contest because it's the first person who can comment below where the secret 2 Pre-Vizsla helmets are. So obviously Pre-Vizsla is headless at the end of Season 5, or at least the Mandalorian arc of Season 5. So I decided to hide 2 Pre-Vizsla helmets around the MOC. So the first person that can tell me in the comments below where those 2 helmets are will be the winner of the Bo-Katan. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start with this walkthrough with the front side of Mandalore. First off, you might notice this is a very symmetrical build. I honestly have never really made something quite like this in previous creations, so this was a new challenge for me. Not only that, but also creating a battle around something with all these different levels, with, you know, different areas that you can experiment with. You can honestly notice I have utilized this symmetrical look to my advantage by creating also symmetry between both the Mandalorian Super Commandos that serve Darth Maul and Bo-Katan's Blue Mandalorian clan over here. So that's what's kind of going on. I'm trying to mimic not only the MOC being symmetrical, but also with the figures mimicking that same look. So I went for that, and then also kind of go into, there's actually a little bit more going on, especially with the ground battle. But first off, let's just go through all these minifigures. So when I made my finale video, which if you haven't watched that, go ahead and take a look. That shows basically the final process of putting all these minifigures, all the ships and all that. So if you want to go check that out, I'll link that on the screen right now. But in that finale video, I definitely got a lot of people saying, you know, hey David, there's kind of an excessive amount of Lego minifigures on this MOC, especially on the front side. And that's something I tend as a having the creative ability to kind of express how I want my battles to look. That's something I tend to do with my Lego creations. I know other Lego creators out there don't tend to do that. I'm one to do it because I love the epic scale it brings to my MOCs. It brings them alive in a different way. So I look at Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore arc, and I look at it and I'm like, okay, let's pump this up by like 10, 20, 200% and just go crazy with it, because why not? You know, I love seeing stuff like this. This is stuff out of my childhood that I wanted to build as a kid, and now I'm able to actually fulfill that. So it might not be 100% accurate to Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, but honestly, I try to create a story with what you're seeing here. So obviously the Super Commandos had gained control of the city, so they already had the advantage of being able to kind of come out through these windows and these doorways and all the nooks and crannies of the MOC, so they're already positioned, whereas the Republic, so that would be the Clone Troopers and Bo-Katan's clan over here, they are invading. You know, it is the Siege of Mandalore, so they're invading the city, so they all have to like bring in all the troops, and that's what you're seeing here. So you have the Mandalorian starfighters bringing in all of the Blue Mandalorians. You're seeing the Republic dropship bringing down the ATTEs and releasing all of the troops basically. Now, obviously, not all these troops on the bottom, fit in the ATT, so we'll just pretend the gunships had already landed down here and the troops were down. I also included a Republic fighter tank. That's a set from 2017, I believe. I actually never liked that set when it launched, but I actually have found a use for it, and I've actually also really gained respect for it. It's actually very useful. It fits in the scale of the Mandalorian speeder over here. But I'm really, really enjoying the look that's going on here. So before we get down to the main battle, let's just cover this area over here. So this is kind of Darth Maul's ship, which also serves a secondary purpose that we'll show in a little bit. But that's releasing Mandalorian troops trying to flank the clone troopers, and so they're having to react right here. So that's what you're seeing. This rocket launcher is, creating this giant explosion. The clone troopers had set up here on the the platform, and they had a great position of trying to shoot all of these Mandalorians that are flying on the other side. But now they're having to react to these guys. So I'm really thinking about how fluid this MOC is in terms of how the battles are working. You'll see a little hand-to-hand combat. That's something the Mandalorian warriors are known for. So I had to throw that in. So you're kind of seeing that right there. You're seeing another little hand-to-hand combat going on right here between a clone trooper that's honestly losing quite a bit there to a Mandalorian super commando that was able to kind of sneak behind everybody. But again, you're just kind of seeing how these guys are invading. So some Mandalorian troops are coming over here and helping the clone troopers and land here. We got some guys that are setting up for positions. We have a commander saying, "Hey troops, we need reinforcements at this point." And then most of the Mandalorians are making their way down to the floor. I'm not exactly sure why they do this. Maybe they're just running out of the jetpacks, but this is something I actually noticed in Season 7, and I believe it was Episode 10, the second episode of Siege of Mandalore, is the Mandalorians, especially when Bo-Katan comes in, it's the moment when Rex is on the bridge fighting against Gar Saxon and his super commandos, and it's a full-on battle on that bridge part, and then out of nowhere Bo-Katan's Mandalorians come in, and they don't come flying in, they come flying in, but they land on the bridge, and they go on like this head-to-head running battle towards each other. And so that's kind of what I'm recreating. I'm not exactly sure why they do that, and they don't just fly around and shoot, because that's what they do in the Mandalorian TV show, so it kind of contradicts itself. Anyhow, so long story short, these Mandalorians are flying in, they're landing, and you can kind of see them landing here on the bottom, so they can go head-to-head with Gar Saxon himself. I did include a minifigure right here. It's a custom minifigure by Engineero, and you can see he's leading, not losing, well, he is going to lose, leading all of his troops on this side, which, I have to give a shout out to Clone Army Customs for providing a lot of the LEGO Mandalorians that you see here, especially on the Super Commando side. So we have the LEGO version of the Super Commando that came with the Mandalorian speeder from 2013, but I have a lot of Clone Army custom minifigures here that are actually basically, they are indeed LEGO figures with custom helmets and custom printing, so that's what makes them different from the LEGO ones. So that's what's kind of going on with that side. Obviously, these guys are kind of flooding in as well. There's a lot more of these guys flooding in on their jetpacks, and they're also coming down from these levels, going to that head-to-head battle again, kind of creating that bridge scene from the Siege of Mandalore arc. Now, again, I'm taking creative liberty here and going with what I would like to see. So I have Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and Rex going against Gar Saxon. I should have put a Darth Maul down here too, but I didn't. But I have the trio going against all of these guys, just because I really wanted to see that out of LEGO, so that's what I did. Now, if we take the perspective and we come down on the floor right now, this is something that's really important that I was working very, very hard on when I was placing the minifigures, which you can see this beautiful mural on the back. That's done by a fan that I commissioned. It's actually the same mural you can see in the city during, I believe it's the Palpatine versus Maul and Sewage episodes, when basically Sewage dies, spoiler alert. But when you see that happen, there's this mural behind these stairs and stuff like that, and we recreated it in the Lego form, so you can see like the Lego figure version with the Lego lightsabers, and you can see the Lego Mandalorians. They even have a similar blaster to the Mandalorian battle pack, like that guy in the middle over there. So that's really, really cool. So a lot of touches. You can see even the dark sabers on that mural, but that mural is so important. It's such a focal point of the MOC, especially here in the city center. So I wanted to kind of create what you see going on there. So you have the Jedi against the Mandalorians, and that's exactly what I did. So if you come down to this perspective, you can actually see the Mandalorians versus the Republic or Jedi, because I have Ahsoka leading those troops. And so that's actually really why I put Ahsoka there. Not only did I want the trio of Rex, Ahsoka, and Bo-Katan together, but I wanted to recreate that mural that you're seeing there, the Mandalorian heritage. So that was really important to me. There's a lot more tidbits going on here. There's figures over there, figures pouring in here, commanding troops right here, coming into battle. I'm kind of taking, similarities to what you see in episode 2 of Attack of the Clones, how the clone troopers are talking and then kind of lead in. So I'm kind of taking that approach with how the troops are coming in. Another thing, there is some clone pilots here as well in the drop ships. So those are some Clone Custom helmets, I believe. We'll talk more about the pilots in a second, because there's actually a fun little mistake going on that will be addressed in the showcase video, not in today's walkthrough video. But anyhow, the entire look of this outside was based off of one piece of concept art that, believe it or not, I just used that one image to make everything that you see here. And it took about 6 months to get the front side done, and then another 5 months to do the back side. Another tidbit up there, you'll see Pre Vizsla and a Mandalorian as well. I wanted Pre Vizsla somewhere in the MOC. Obviously, he does die in Season 5 by Maul's hand. But I wanted him seeing the battle, the Civil War he always wanted as the Clone Wars show went on. So we'll pretend that's Ghost Vizsla up there. And then making our way over to the final part of the front side is, of course, the Republic gunships. You have to have the gunships. I'm still waiting for LEGO to make another playset of this. So this is actually the one from 2013. We're actually confirmed to get a Ultimate Collector's or a bigger scale version of this in 2021. But for now, we just have the 2013 version, and I've really utilized it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's the accurate version of the gunship, because I don't think these side pods are actually on that version of the gunship in the Siege of Mandalore. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure they're not, because I think these are low orbiting gunships is what this version is from the Attack of the Clones movie. But anyhow, we have troops coming in through here. They're all Phase 2 clones. They're the rare ones, actually. I got my hands on those, thankfully, years ago, and I'm finally putting them to use. So you have, troops fighting here and all of that. You have troops coming in. This gunship is literally just kind of standing on these stilts. These aren't even really attached to anything. So, it's secure. I don't want to push it too much, but it's secure. And then if we make our way over here, you'll see that this gunship is dropping off troops, and we'll cover this scene in just a little bit, but this is dropping off Captain Vaughn and his 332nd troops to assist Ahsoka in the tunnel system that we see also at the end of Episode 9, beginning of Episode 10 from Season 7 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. But that kind of concludes the front side. There's plenty more with the back side, so let's go ahead and proceed. Okay, so as we make our way to the first side of Mandalore, you'll notice there's actually a little secret handle that reveals a secret compartment. And if I open this up, you'll notice there's a little switch in here, and when I flip that on, boom, LED lights turn on, and this MOC automatically gets fully elevated. So something I actually originally didn't think about doing when going into the MOC, but I decided later on that I wanted LED lights. The first thing that's being lit up is actually on the front side, so there is some LED lights out here. And if I turn down the light, you'll see it very clearly. This explosion here with our friendly little clone trooper getting blasted away is actually getting exploded with LED lights that are actually flickering. I do want to thank Light My Bricks. They're the providers of the LED lights that I use. So I'm going to link their website down below if you're interested in their product. But they did a great job with the LED lights, and I am so thrilled with the way I installed them in this explosion. It makes the explosion look that much better. It elevates the entire MOC. I love the way this looks. So now we're going to go ahead and head into the first side of Mandalore and show you room by room with these LED lights what they look like and what they can honestly do for a LEGO creation. So the first room is the Duchess Satine Palace that obviously Maul takes over. And of course, I had to recreate that amazing battle from season 7 between Ahsoka and Maul. And you can see the LED lights here are definitely elevating this battle because there's LED lights in the lightsabers. This is something I've never done before, so this is a first for me. This was really exciting to do. I honestly think it elevates the entire look of the room. So you have Ahsoka and Maul. Obviously, you have Maul's throne over here. And then if you make your way over to this side, you'll see I have Captain Rex and that Bo-Katan figure, which, by the way, don't forget about the giveaway. Be looking for those previs helmets. But anyhow, so I'm recreating that scene when the three of them walk into the throne room, and then obviously Maul's like, oh, hey, Bo-Katan, you should go address that. Oh, Rex, you should go address that. And then obviously it turns into the duel between Ahsoka and Maul. So that's what I've, kind of done in here. Now, this room honestly has a very unique look of it because of this technique that I'm using here on the side. And this is what the LEGO community calls snot. So those of you who are not familiar with that technique, snot stands for studs, so Lego studs on top of the brick, not on top. So it's just sideways Lego building. That's basically what that term means. So snot technique is being used on all three sides of this palace. And I also want to thank my boy Baggles for Real. He's the one that helped design a lot of these glass panels that you see here. So I'm going to link his Instagram and YouTube down below. Big thanks for him helping me collaborate with this amazing room. I absolutely love the way this whole thing turned out. So let's go ahead. If we make our way downwards, this room transitions perfectly into the next scene that we actually see in the show, which is, of course, the rafter area where Ahsoka chases Maul to what Maul is trying to do is escape to a ship. And so if I turn the light down a little bit more, you can actually clearly see what's actually happening here is there's an LED light up here in Maul's Mandalorian Gauntlet Starfighter. So I'm recreating the scene pretty accurately in my opinion. So I have a hole through the ceiling and that is being shined down correctly to Maul and Ahsoka because obviously Maul's trying to escape. And so you have this final duel going on here. Of course, Maul loses. But I was really, really excited to kind of recreate that scene. Obviously, the rafter area here is not above the entire MOC, just like it is in the actual show. But this is the best I could do, which is utilize this area. And I think it reflects very well to the actual, scene from the show. So I'm really, really happy with the way this whole thing came out. A lot of different LEGO techniques were used to create this rafter area. I'm really, really happy with it. I also want to shout out Edge of Brix for this amazing Gauntlet Starfighter design, which is, I actually commissioned him to do this. I said, hey man, if you can make a very similar one to the LEGO Gauntlet Starfighter, that would be wonderful. And he did a fantastic job making the Maul version. So I believe he has instructions available if you guys want to build that yourself. So as we make our way down, now we get to the prison cell area. So this is something very fun. You actually see the prison cells in Season 7. I didn't actually anticipate that. You actually see the prison cells in other times of the Clone Wars show. I didn't anticipate to see them again in Season 7, but we did. We saw, obviously, Almec got assassinated in the prison cells, and then you had that kind of fight between Bo-Katan and Gar Saxon. Which, by the way, that fight happens in an elevator shaft, and conveniently enough, when I was building this, I made an elevator to access these prison cells. That was before the show came out, actually, so that just worked out really well. So in the showcase video, I'm actually going to have a scene of Gar Saxon and Bo-Katan kind of dueling in this working elevator, by the way. I'll show that in a second how it works. Okay, so to control the elevator, there's a little power functions battery bank box next to my USB box in here in the same compartment. So if I turn that on, then this thing is connected to an S-brick, which I have a little Lego motor up here connected to this smart brick or S-brick. I'll link below to their product if you're interested in it. But basically, now that the motor is on, I have an app here that controls this elevator. This is actually what I used in Kashyyyk. So if I move the app down, you can see the elevator moves up and down as well. So this turned out really well. It actually goes from the very bottom to the very top. I'm really, really honestly happy with the way it turned out. Again, I didn't know there was actually going to be an elevator shaft in Season 7, so that really just turned out awesome. I have a red LED light in there to represent the LED, but honestly, I'm really happy with the way this whole thing turned out. Looking at the prison cells, there's 16 cells. They all have LED lights in them. There's a bunch of different like Easter eggs and tidbits of basically fans that have contributed to this MOC. I have myself here, my sig fig. I have my girlfriend Meredith. That's Matt, who is actually on the camera right now. That's the Brick Wiz. We have Jay, Rich Boy Jay. You got Barris Ulfi there. I don't know what she's doing hanging out around here. We got the Mandalorian. Jedi Bob actually fell down in his prison cell, so I guess he's hurt. I'm not going to go through all the minifigures, but just know that there's a lot of fun going on here. I really, really enjoyed this. We have Jar Jar, we have Santa Jango, we have Boba Fett, we have Jango Fett. This is all just kind of a big Easter egg type of room. If we make our way downwards, you'll actually see another Easter egg, which is the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones made its way into the MOC as well. I really, actually from here on out, I'm probably going to include this in my large dioramas, the Ark of the Covenant. I just find it funny because it's actually made an appearance in the Star Wars Clone Wars show. In the Ryloth episodes of season 1 of the show, you can actually see the Ark of the Covenant being taken by Wat Tambor. So fun fact if you didn't know that. Moving on to the next room. This is a room that you don't see in the show. This is a room I just made up on the spot because I had this empty space and want to utilize it. So this is basically what I call the, I guess kind of the, planning room, the execution room of like, okay, we need to figure this out. So we have some blinking LED lights to represent hologram tables. We can see Palpatine has already made his way to the Emperor status. So I wanted to recreate, Rex kind of looking at the table that you see in episode 11 of Star Wars, The Clone Wars Season 7, or Shattered is what the episode title is called. So I was going to put Rex here, but actually I can do it right now. There's Rex. But anyhow, so that's why the Emperor's on the hologram. But anyhow, this is a planning room, so you kind of have like a planning area here with some Mandalorians. You can see there's some crates going on here on both sides. You can also see we have some Mandalorians on this bridge that came off the elevator that are about to take over this room, so that's what's going on there. And as we make our way downwards, there's the last room, which doesn't actually have LED lights in. There's LED lights in this room, and the way this room has light, and if I turn down my bigger light, I'm going to show you guys how this kind of works. You can see it. So there's actually window panels in the floor of this room, and so the LED light is actually shining down, and that's how we're getting this really, really cool pattern on all of these Mandalorians. And this room right here, this hallway, is actually the hallway that you see Obi-Wan Kenobi in Season 5 kind of fighting with Bo-Katan, and then they get to this big door right here, and it's basically the door that shows all hell is breaking loose on Mandalore, and that's when Bo-Katan's like, go get the Republic, we need them to invade, etc., etc., and then obviously we finally saw that in Season 7. But that's what this hallway is actually based off, is that same scene. So I really went into the details. You can see on the sides there, they have like the Mandalorian kind of symbol that's on their chest plate. Even the flooring has some different work on it. I spent way too much time on this floor, but it looks really, really good, and I'm really happy with the result down here. So I'm going to turn the light back up, and that concludes this whole side of Mandalore. This is technically the left side of the creation if you were looking at it from the front. Okay, so now we're on the back side of Mandalore, and as you can see, there's a very small amount of room here, but I still utilized it for the MOC, and I have a full-on battle on the back side. So fun thing about the back is how I hid the battery bank. There's also another secret compartment back here, and if I lift this area up, it actually fully comes off, and that reveals where my USB battery bank is to turn on the LED lights. So it's another little fun tidbit that I love including. But as we make our way down here, you'll see we'll start from here and make our way all the way to the other side. So this is kind of like a staging area right now. So there's already a battle here, hence the war-torn area. The lights are blinking. You have some fire here that's also kind of blinking, or flickering, I should say. So you have dead troops everywhere. Reinforcements have arrived. So again, I'm creating kind of a story around what happened here. You can see there was a lot of damage here, and as you make your way down, the damage gets less and less. So obviously reinforcements are coming in here. You have ATTE, big window that's been is being lit up by LED lights. I absolutely love the way this whole area here honestly came out. As we make our way down here, you can see there's some Mandalorians and clone troopers on ATRTs that are all getting ready. I even have the little speeder from the Mandalorian Battle Pack. They're coming in here, and then we find Captain Rex, ARC Trooper Jesse, 332nd Clone Troopers, and of course Mandalorians all fighting the Super Commandos over here. As you can see, their forces have been drawn thin. That battle that took over here with the, all that battle damage that kind of really put them in a tight spot. So as you can see, they're getting basically forced into this area. You can see the Republic's also coming in here. They're coming here having a little fight on the This is the cargo slash landing area. This is actually, again, shown in the Mandalorian show, so you can actually see I designed all of this. This is actually coming off the side of the table. I'm really, really happy with the way this came out. So you have our public shuttle, which you also see with what carries away Darth Maul later on in the Siege of Mandalore arc. But yeah, so there's a full-on battle going here on the docks between the Mandalorian warriors. So they're getting forced in to this tight area on both sides. Basically, the Republic is flanking them. I love this stair design right here. I absolutely love the way this turned out, the way this whole platform area turned out. That looks really good. But then you'll notice there's LED lights here on the side, and I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out. Some window panels don't have LED lights, some are flickering, some are obviously on, some are fully off, and that's to show that this is a battle, so electricity is, you know, all over the place. And so I kind of wanted to recreate that war-torn effect that, like, not everything is obviously on and working perfectly because of the Siege of Mandalore is happening. So again, I'm just kind of creating that effect. More bins and crates around here. Looking back, I have a Mandalorian speeder. I have some fun little trees. You may have noticed these on the front courtyard as well, but I've also put them back here. You actually see these like wild looking trees in Mandalore. It's actually a fun little tidbit. I really like the way these actually came out. I was a little unsure myself to make trees again after my Kashyyyk mock, but I really came through. I'm really happy with these mini trees and they look great. So this entire backside honestly turned out way better than I expected, even though there's a very small amount of room here to work with, but I still utilized it and I'm really happy with it. You can also see there's some regular Mandalorians. This is the one from the Mandalorian Battle Pack. They're kind of chilling out. They're seeing the siege happening. They're kind of not affiliated with any particular clan. And then I just have some more windows here. I have a little Mandalorian kind of falling off. Maybe the ship kind of blew this guy off, so that's why he or she is falling down right now. But you know, I love the perspectives. I love looking down, especially when you're right here. You can really, you know, get the full scale of the battle. It looks really good. I really am happy with all that this came out to be here on the backside. So couldn't have asked for a better battle or area to work with, because it challenged me to do something that I've never done before. So I have to take all these guys off, and then I have to lift this up without hitting the gunships or the figures. And then, I don't even have a switch for this right now. I have a USB cable, and then I have to plug it in, and that kind of just sits right there. And then I technically have to put this back, but because we're just going to look at that one side, we're just going to leave that there. Okay, so now we're making our way to the final side of Mandalore, and you'll see here we have, again, the gunship landing and releasing the 332nd Clone Troopers with Captain Vaughn here, about to go down this elevator shaft, which of course leads into the Mandalorian sewage tunnel. So exciting. No, actually, I'm really happy with the way this area turned out. You can see there's LED lights that turn on in here. I have some LED floodlights. You have this full encounter area between Ahsoka and Maul, and we'll go through that in just a second. But first, I want you guys to see the actual tunnels that I recreated here. I'm really, really honestly happy with the way they turned out. I'm going to go ahead and turn the bigger light down right now so you can really see what these LED lights look like. And you can notice they're very dim, and that's purposely done. I wanted them to be dim. I wanted it to be very dark and grimy down here in the sewage tunnels, and that's exactly what happened. So you can see the 332nd Troopers met their fate and unfortunately passed away because they didn't know the tunnels as well as the Super Commandos. So that's what you see here. They have all died. As we're making our way through, you can see the Super Commandos are coming in, and they're fully coming into the counter of Ahsoka over here. There's actually another tunnel over here as well. It's the same one as this one, but there is, you know, just a secondary sewage tunnel system. Now we're taking a look here in the middle. So again, we have this elevator shaft. Unfortunately, this elevator is not working. We do have some Clone Trooper and a Mandalorian on the elevator right here. It actually moves around. You can see it's on this big Technic axle. And then as we make our way down here, I'll turn the lights up so you can see this a little bit clearly. We, again, have these LED lights, which honestly make this area look so good. A little elevator control panel, you know, the details matter, guys. But again, we have Maul here. This is the same Maul that you can get in the LEGO Star Wars Encyclopedia. So I'll leave my Amazon affiliate link down below if you want to help the channel with that link. That would be awesome. So this is where you can buy the Darth Maul minifigure that I use all over the place in this mock. And I also, of course, have Gar Saxon, because Maul orders Gar to go assassinate Almac. So that's what's going on right here. So he is in this room, and then we have a whole bunch of Mandalorian Super Commandos, obviously flanking Ahsoka, and that's what's happening here. So we have the full encounter. We even have this little sewage pool. This is actually accurate. There's little ladders and everything that goes to the sewage pool. If you look carefully in the next time you watch the episodes, you'll see it. So I really wanted to be as accurate as possible with that. I absolutely just love the way this whole half tunnel came out. It looks really, really good. I've never done anything quite like this before, so this is a very fun experiment for me. It was really tricky to get, you know, this top part to make the roof work with such a very wide curve as this, but it worked out very well, so I'm very happy with the way this section came out. So the last thing is really just to take in the overall MOC and all of this geometry and window panels, towers, just different geometrical shapes all over the entire MOC that really reflects that Mandalorian culture, that everything has to be perfect, that everything has to be crafted in a very particular way. That's just how the Mandalorian culture works. So I tried to reflect that very well in these window panel areas, and you know, this section, you know, I really tried my best to make it as accurate as possible. You know, I spent a lot of time working on these window panels, and there's small little snot details in those columns right there. There's designs going on here. I really, really worked hard to make this thing as accurate as possible. There's even that area over there kind of reflects the chest plate of the Mandalorian warriors. So there's a lot of fun tidbits. Of course, I love that mural. There's actually designs, like this is the T-visor here in this area of the Mandalorian helmet. There's designs all over this place that you don't even notice until you really think about it. In the full-on floor here, I know you guys can't really see it, but there's designs in that as well. So a lot of work went into this. Of course, if you're interested, you can watch the full entire building series. So week by week, I showed my progress building this entire creation. So if you're interested in that, by all means, take a look down below. I'm thrilled with the way this creation came out. Again, at the beginning of the video, I told you there is 550 minifigures, maybe more than that in the MOC, which is kind of a first. I don't think I've ever done that many minifigures in a creation. It might be a bit too many, but I absolutely love the way it looks, guys. And then in terms of ships, I feel like I have the right amount. I feel like this whole area works very well with the Republic dropship. This is a very hard to get set nowadays. But, you know, I just love the overall look. There is another little tidbit, you know, at the beginning I talked about the pilots. If you guys couldn't tell, there's some pilots here that are not accurate, and I know Matt was a little annoyed by that, and I'm sure some of you who have a keen eye might have noticed that as well. These guys over here in this gunship don't even have pilot helmets. That's just because I just didn't have the pilot helmets that I'm utilizing over here. I didn't have enough of them. So these are the accurate pilot helmets right here. I just didn't have, I think I needed 9 more. So those will be making its way into the actual showcase video, which is just pictures and video of the MOC. So if you want to watch that montage, I'll link that right now. That's going to be it, guys. As you can see, this MOC is humongous. It's 28 LEGO base plates. And in terms of height here, I think this is about 3 or 4 feet to me right here. You can see it gets pretty close to my head in terms of size. So this is a humongous LEGO creation. It's unfortunate nobody's ever really going to see this at a public convention. I would love to have brought it, but you know, with the current pandemic and all that, and also the fact that this MOC isn't really modular would make it next to impossible to bring it to a convention. So unfortunately, in a few months, it will be torn down and be repurposed into another LEGO creation. So if you're interested in those LEGO creations, definitely hit the subscribe button down below, guys. This is my 4th creation. I've done Kashyyyk, I've done Scarif, I've done Crate, and now Mandalore. So what's next on my channel? You'll just have to find out. Hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that like button. Don't forget to support me with either my t-shirts or minifigs for you. Those links will be down in the description below. Thanks again to Matt, the Brick Whiz, for being our filmmaker today and helping out doing this entire walkthrough. Thank you so much, Matt. I'll link his channel again right now, and it'll also be down in the description. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.